Alright, so I'm going to go through a few examples of going from your words to your equations. Key on this also, don't forget your diatomics. Remember, those are the 7 elements that by themselves have 2 of the atoms that are bonded together. So you have hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. Remember, there are 7 of them. Okay, so when you are going from your words to equations, the first thing you want to do is to write out what your chemical formulas are for everything that's in your equation. And then look for those keywords, the to form. Remember that to form, that tells you what's your reactants and what's your products. So for example, when we look at number 2, we have phosphorus, and this is just phosphorus, so that's just P. Reacts with diatomic oxygen. That's one of our diatomics, so that is O2. And it's going to form tetraphosphorus decaoxide. We have these prefixes here in this particular formula that tells us this is a covalent compound. Tetra is 4. Oops, that is spelled wrong. There should be a T in there. And then deca is 10. So we have P4O10. Now, when we write our equation, remember you're going to put plus signs in between things that are reactants and products. And then between the reactants and products, that's where the arrow goes. So we have this to form. Remember, that is going to be our arrow. So we have phosphorus, and it reacts with diatomic oxygen, so that means that's going to be another reactant as well. We have our arrow, and then our tetraphosphorus decaoxide, and that is our equation. All right, let's take a look at one that's a little bit more tricky on the back here. Let's take a look at the last one. Okay. So we have potassium permanganate reacts with hydrogen monochloride to form manganese 2 chloride, diatomic chlorine, water, and potassium chloride. So in this particular one, we have quite a few compounds. Again, we're looking for that to form. That's what's going to separate our reactants and our products. So we start off with what we have here. So we have potassium permanganate. So potassium permanganate, potassium is +1. Permanganate is on your polyatomic ion list on your periodic table. That is MnO4, and overall it is a -1. So we have +1, -1, so just one of each. So K, MnO4. Okay, reacts with hydrogen monochloride. So hydrogen, that's just H. Monochloride. Mono means 1, so just 1 chlorine. Okay. And then now we have 2 forms, so these are going to be our products. So manganese 2 chloride. So manganese is going to be +2. Chloride, Cl -1. Cross charges. So MnCl2. We have diatomic chlorine, so that's Cl2, water, H2O, and then potassium chloride. So potassium again is +1, chlorine is -1, so KCl. All right, so now that we have our formulas all written out, let's go ahead and write out our equation. So remember that to form, that's your arrow. Everything before is your reactants, everything after is your products. So we have potassium permanganate plus our hydrogen monochloride, which is HCl. And then those are going to be our 2 reactants, and then we have our arrow to form, and then we're going to write all of our products, which in this case we have 4 products. So our manganese 2 chloride, diatomic chlorine, water, and potassium chloride.